All right, guys, welcome along to the first episode of Racecast. Today, we're here. No, fuck it.
No, I like that. We are here. We're here. We're going to kick off the season, pre-season.
Oh, you're still continuing with it? I thought we were going to
restart.
restart.
No, we'll roll with it. We'll roll with it.
Okay. Luke, this is an exciting project. We've discussed this for... How long have we discussed this for?
Well, because we did the racing line. I don't know if any of you listened to that. That was your podcast.
Yep.
And then you wanted to get me involved a little more involved, should I say. And I wasn't really feeling it. I'm not going to lie.
But, the issue is with the podcast I did then, I was only there for 4 races. So it was really tough to get into it. But obviously it's a new season. It's exciting. New cars, new drivers. 2022 is going to be big for Formula One, and I'm really excited about it. So, guys, before we get started, you can check us out on all social medias. It's taken a while. We finally got a design.
Yep.
I've got some hoodies. Firstly, should we say thank you for this? Because, we got sent already. This is the first episode. Oh, you're right there. COVID. All good. First episode. We've already been sent some nice F1 merch.
Yeah, and what we should say is thank you very much to the kind people over at formulasports.co.uk. Their link will be in the description. You can go check them out. Also, follow them on Instagram. But we are going to sort out an affiliate link where we can try and get all of you some discount on official Formula One merchandise.
But on top of that, the exciting news is we're getting mugs.
Yeah, they are sending us some mugs.
I'm buzzing for that. Obviously, if you're on the widescreen, you can actually see another McLaren hoodie. Yeah. I like it. I really like the quality of this. So thank you so much to them. So shall we get into this podcast? I think it's something which is quite exciting. We've got quite a lot to talk about. As I said, check us out on all social medias, Twitter. We're even going to be on TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
Do you know how old I just said there? We're on TikTok. Good, fine. So you can check us out on that. What is it? Racecast clips. Check us out on that. But let's start off by talking about Bahrain testing. It was an interesting one. Very different this year. The 2022 cars look, I have to say, beautiful.
I think they are arguably the best looking ever Formula One cars. There's something about them. The way they're smooth. Yeah. Does that make sense? Everything's rounded. They're not sharp. Like the last cars, I think they were a bit boxy, weren't they? And they were big. They looked a bit clunky.
Well, I remember when you messaged me about the Mercedes, the first day when they came with no side pods, and you were like, it's literally like an arrow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Ferrari looks amazing. Just touching on that, out of all the cars on the grid this year, what is your favourite? And what is your worst?
To look at?
Okay,
so I got to admit, since Haas have got rid of their sponsors, I love the simplicity, the white and the red. I think it looks slick. And I think the cars look quite nice. Yeah,
I agree with you, but it just, for me, it just still looks the same. There's no real difference in it.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll touch on the Haas situation, but they have obviously, I'm sure the livery they've got is not necessarily the one they always wanted, but they were under duress for a lot of time. They had to do certain things that certain people wanted them to do, and now they're free from that.
Which was very evident in Drive to Survive, which we'll touch on later on. Yeah. But, okay, so worst looking car on the grid?
You know what? Aston Martin Racing Green. That is not Racing Green. Have we seen the colour? I don't know what colour green it is. It looks. I like the contrast with the yellow and the green, but to me that's not an Aston Martin green, and I'll probably have to say Aston Martin.
I agree with you. So for me, I think Williams looks amazing. Yeah. I love the look of Williams. I don't know what it's something about it. I think because Williams over the last few years have looked kind of cheap and nasty. Not being rude, but they have, haven't they?
Straight to the point.
It hasn't looked. The bodywork hasn't looked great. Yeah. So for me, they're coming out this year and it just looks slick. I like the colour. I like, what they've done with the shape, the side pods, the front wing. I just think it looks beautiful. But I agree with you. The worst looking car on the grid has to be Aston Martin or Haas for me. I know you said Haas is, your favourite. Not really for me. I think it just looks too similar to last year.
Okay, well now, let's stop being shallow.
Okay.
Because what really matters is how the cars perform.
Yeah, true.
So, obviously, I think what we should do is we're going to go through each team, starting from let's say we'll do it in the order of the Constructors' Championship.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll touch on Mercedes. Performance-wise, from Bahrain, what are we expecting?
I was really disappointed in Mercedes. I was expecting them to come this year and just, come flying off the grid. That's not even a word, is it? Flying off. What's the word?
Flying out the blocks.
Flying out the blocks. That's the one. I was expecting them to do that this year.
Yeah.
However, especially after how the last season ended, I thought they would have all that drive and everything. They just didn't look sharp at all. I mean, I know they're doing a few long runs and they're testing. For me, they looked off the ball.
Do we think that Mercedes have taken... Because if you live under a rock, you'll be aware that Mercedes have no side pods.
Yeah.
Or you won't be aware, if you live under a rock.
Yeah.
Which, this is quite a controversial thing. There are a few teams speculating that it may be illegal or it goes against the spirit, or... I
mean, when you're talking about teams, there's only one team who's actually speculating.
No, I'm not gonna point the finger at Christian Horner here. I've also heard rumours about Ferrari not being happy about certain things on the Mercedes car.
Yep, but I mean, it's the same, isn't it? It's the same every year. Somebody's not happy about something at pre-season testing. But no, I think Mercedes, very disappointing.
But do we think that gamble with the no side pods just hasn't paid off?
No, I don't think it has, because they looked reasonably strong in Barcelona when they were, in Barcelona testing, when they had the side pods.
Still disappointing, mind
you. Still
you.
Disappointing, but they looked better in performance. However, I mean, it's so hard to say, isn't it? Hamilton came out, he said he's got a lot of work to do this year. George Russell said he's not overly happy with the car. Do you know what? When you see them on board, it looks like they're going to have no teeth left at the end of it, because they're literally like
the porpoising.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I think they're the worst on the grid. When you look at
the porpoising,
yeah,
agreed.
Worst on the grid, and they've got a lot of work to do with that.
They simply cannot drive fast. Yeah. As soon as they pick up speed, they bounce around.
Yeah, there's too much. There's no downforce. There's too much, in the aerodynamics there, and it just doesn't work. But for me, yeah, they're the worst on the grid for that. But I'm hopeful that actually Mercedes are just playing a trick this year.
I mean, clear it up for everyone. You're a Mercedes fan.
I am a Mercedes fan, and so are you.
Yeah, but what we're not going to be is Mercedes fanboys.
No, we're neutral in this. And this is one thing which we said when we did the podcast. We're going to actually be fair. If something we didn't agree with, even if Mercedes did something, we would actually say it how it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's really important for the podcast. We're not just going to be like, oh, we love Hamilton. Hamilton got robbed last year. I might have done that last year. However, I'm not going to do it this year. I want to be neutral.
Yeah.
I want to, see how the teams develop.
Well, and now talking about being neutral, we're going to have to talk about Red Bull.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They look quick.
They do look quick. Perez looked fantastic. I'm expecting a big season for Perez this year.
Yeah.
But I'm also they've just kind of continued from last year, haven't they, with their performance? Obviously, there's new engine. They've designed their own engine this year. So for me, it's going to be interesting. The pace is definitely there.
I mean, they were the quickest.
They were the quickest. Verstappen finished. But we can't really take too much because Haas, I'm not being funny, Haas was second on the final day of testing. And on the second day of testing, Magnussen came first. I mean...
Yeah, which...
We'll
touch on that when we talk about Haas, but that was insane.
That was outrageous. But with regards to Red Bull, I think they've done a great job on the car. With regards to the design, I think it looks very Red Bullish, doesn't it? It doesn't look much of a difference. But I love the nose. I think that's what makes it this year. The nose, the pointy at the end. It looks. I know all noses are pointy before anyone goes, what's he talking about? But no, I think that is something which it looks beautiful from the front. It looks beautiful.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Red Bull have carried on with the momentum that they had last season, and with a driver like Max in the car, they're looking like the ones to beat, in my opinion.
Yeah. Moving
on to Ferrari, who seem to be everyone's team to beat at the moment. I don't know, right? Because I was on Twitter.
Oh, nice.
And
was this in between your busy time at work?
Yeah. No, I was really busy when I did this. Motorsport at Motorsport. They tweeted the last 9-10 years of pre-season testing. Now, obviously, out of the last, 9 seasons, Mercedes have won 8 of them.
Yep.
They've only actually been fastest in testing twice. And one of those seasons was 2013, where Red Bull won it. Now, Red
Really?
Bull...
What? That's mad.
Yeah. Red Bull went quickest for the last 2 seasons, not included... Oh, that was including this season.
Yeah.
For 4 of those seasons, Ferrari were the quickest. Now, I find that, that's led me to believe that what should we take away from this?
I think testing is always difficult, isn't it? A lot of teams don't actually go there with the intention of getting the fastest lap. They go there with the intention of actually seeing how they are on long runs, low fuel, high fuel, different tyres. Because obviously you've got to remember they're completely different tyres. They're 18-inch tyres this year.
Yeah, well, there's visibility questions as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so everything is different. So for teams this year, they're coming into it and they're looking at it and going, okay, normally every pre-season we know that, we've got to try and beat Mercedes and we've got to see if we can get the fastest lap during pre-season. However, I think it shows with the amount of teams who were all over the place, like with Haas being up there and everything. I don't think certain teams were worrying too much about the fastest lap. I think they're worrying too much about performance and reliability.
Well, because this isn't even normal testing, really.
No,
this is a brand new car. They've got to actually figure out how it drives.
Yeah, and that's the exciting thing. I think when you look at the teams, everything is new. Everything is a blank canvas, and all teams had the same tools, the same, they're starting fresh. And that's something which I think is really exciting and something which I think Ferrari have worked so hard for. Because last year, you've got to remember, a few of the races, their CEO wasn't even there. He was back in Italy, working on the car for this year. So they sacrificed quite a bit last year to actually work on this car. And with Leclerc, with Sainz, they're in a fantastic position. If they can continue this performance, I honestly think they are championship contenders this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, easily they're 2 of the best drivers on the grid. I mean, I've had a soft spot for Leclerc. There's something, I just like him. And when he had the Monaco disaster last season,
Gutting.
But at the same time, there's always been a part of me from when I was younger where I actually kind of don't like Ferrari.
But
I think it's the same reason as for why now people don't like Mercedes.
Because you always had Schumacher winning championships after championships. They're always strong. Likes of Rubens Barrichello always been a second driver, that type of thing. And that's why people, I agree, don't like Mercedes from that aspect. But I think Ferrari, what they've done so well is they've bided their time. Yeah. They've taken their time. They've worked and developed on this car. And they've got the 2 of the best drivers on the grid. See, you have a soft spot for Leclerc. I have a soft spot for Sainz because when he was with McLaren, I think he's brilliant. I think I love the relationship between him and Norris. I think it's just brilliant, and especially in the Drive to Survive, which we'll touch on later. He just seems like that type of guy you'd love to go for dinner with. I think he'd just be a laugh. I think he's
a nice
good character. He's caring, and. He's very fair. If something's not right, and it showed you on the final race of the season last year, he came out, didn't he? And he was like, "That's not fair." Yeah. He said, "I don't agree with that." So he's fair in what he does, and I really like drivers like that, and I think he's just a nice guy. But Ferrari, for me, title contenders this year. I'm putting it out there now.
Yeah, no, you
don't agree with me on this, do you? You think it's still Red Bull?
Okay, look, so there are 2 schools of thought here, right? You could be stupid to say, well, they're not title contenders after the pre-season that they've had because they've shown everyone that actually they are title contenders. But I don't trust Mercedes, first and foremost. The Red Bulls look so strong and Max Verstappen is so good that for me, if Mercedes are sandbagging, then it's still only between 2 people.
Yeah.
It's Max or Lewis. In my opinion, I don't think anyone is going to have an accurate answer until we actually see the first race. Because I think there are, for all we know, Albon might win the first race. Do you know what I mean? Like, you actually have no idea what they were showing us.
I'll make a deal with you. If Albon wins the first race, okay, I will pay 1 month of your mortgage.
Okay.
We go.
That's on camera.
Okay. Crap. I just realised. Can you imagine? They all go off in the first corner and he's just like avoiding it. I'd be devastated.
Like a 19-man crash and it's just him left.
All you need is Bottas. Like that time in Wales at
take
Hungary.
Everyone out.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us on to McLaren.
McLaren, yep.
No Danny Rick. We didn't get to see him. He's got COVID. I put actually on our Instagram, which you can follow, at Racecast Insta, whether they thought this was whether they thought this was a make or break season for Danny Rick. Now, he's never lived up, in my opinion, to the hype. You saw on Drive to Survive, different team principals talking about him, saying, well, you know, what's going on? He's a much better driver than this.
Well, Horner was really complimentary, wasn't he? He's like, he's a best driver, because Red Bull never wanted to get rid of him, and that's the issue, isn't it? They never wanted to get rid of him.
No, they didn't. And you know, I think he maybe showed a bit more ambition than someone like Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah,
I think he accepted that Max was the number one. Yeah, nothing he could do about that. Okay, I'll go prove myself elsewhere.
But he went to Renault. I mean, I'm not being funny. Renault were never going to be a title contender, were they? But he went there, and he just hasn't. Do you think and I'm going to say this, that he was a bit overrated at Red Bull because there was no one else really challenging him at the time? Do we really think he's that good of a driver? Because me personally, I don't think he is.
Or do you think people are deceived by the smile?
Well, I think because people like him because he is such a nice guy, that actually that's why people want him to do well. Like, I was delighted when he won Monza last year. I was delighted. Or Imola.
No, it was Monza.
I was really happy for him in McLaren, but I just feel personally he's not as good as everyone thinks he is.
Well, I mean, I'm not being funny. I mean, Lando Norris A would have won that race in Monza had the team have allowed him to overtake, which they didn't. And I also think part of that was because had Lando have overtaken Daniel Ricciardo, it would have allowed, I can't remember who was in third. Was it Leclerc?
I can't remember that race.
Whoever. I watched the highlights literally the other day, like in preparation for this, and I can't remember. But I feel like he would have been caught up with and overtaken.
Yeah. No.
So I feel like they needed to keep Lando behind him
for his confidence.
Yeah, and they would have kept it kept the other cars behind.
I don't know, guys. Let us know. I mean, am I being too harsh on Danny Rick? Because personally, I don't think he is good as everyone thinks he is, and I think because he is so nice, and at the time he was winning races in an era where there wasn't that much. I mean, you had the likes of Vettel, but there wasn't anyone really as strong performance-wise because Mercedes were dominating. That Danny Ricciardo was just going round, getting those thirds, seconds.
Best of the rest.
Yeah. And that's I may be completely wrong, and I'm probably going to get slated for that. But
the thing is, people have to look at this from like an impartial standing point, where last season was underwhelming.
Oh.
And when was the last time he actually had a good season?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he performed all right at the end with Renault. But
I wouldn't
he
performed all right.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's had a good season since his Red Bull days. I think he hasn't performed for ages.
And the first half of last season, Lando was killing it in that McLaren.
I thought McLaren were going to get third easy. I didn't see Ferrari getting into it at all. However, it was good. It was a good fight. I enjoyed the battle between third and fourth last year with Mercedes, McLaren, and Ferrari. I thought it was brilliant. But yeah, Norris, I think, will have a good season. But I think on the whole, McLaren are going to struggle. And I said this to you, didn't I, off camera a while ago, that I think McLaren are going to have a really tough season. And I don't even think they're going to be guaranteed fourth this year, because I think AlphaTauri will be quick. I'm expecting better from Alpine this year. So I don't think it's full conclusion that McLaren will be top 3 or 4.
No, I think they've looked scrappy in testing. I don't know. Have you heard that noise that their engine makes?
Oh, it's weird, isn't it?
What is it?
Wasn't it you sent me a video of it or something? Or you messaged me going, what is that sound?
Mate, it sounds like there's a carrier bag stuck in there or something. I don't understand it. Like, that can't be right. They can't really, like, listening to that thinking, yeah, that's what we wanted.
A Tesco carrier bag from Storm Eunice just flipped in.
That's what it sounds like.
Exactly, yeah. Next team.
It would be... We got to look at the constructors.
AlphaTauri, I think.
Let's look at AlphaTauri.
Let's look at AlphaTauri. You didn't know, did you? I caught you off guard there.
I didn't.
AlphaTauri, last year, brilliant. I'm really excited. And like, if you've watched Drive to Survive, Tsunoda, I love him. I think he's brilliant. And I think at the end of last year, he was starting to really perform. Had some really good races. In Bahrain, he finished 8th and he was really strong. Or was it? I think it was a bit higher up, but he qualified 8th and he's starting to grow in confidence.
Yeah, because he started terribly, and he knows that.
But he even came out last year and said, "I'm surprised I have a seat." What driver comes out and goes, "I'm actually really surprised I got a contract this year"? No one goes out and goes, "Oh, they kept me on."
But that goes to show what they see in him.
Yeah, but Christian Horner, I think, has a big impact in that because he's really complimentary of him, especially in Drive to Survive. He's like, he has the talent.
Yeah.
You know, and he does, and I think he's starting to show that. I think the work he did with Albon towards the end of last year has worked a lot. Gasly, it frustrates me. He needs to be in a top team.
I love him.
I think he's so talented, and what my concern is going to be is actually if he doesn't get into Red Bull for next season, there's not going to be any other teams he will get into. Ferrari will stay with Sainz and Leclerc for the next few seasons. Hamilton and Russell will most likely stay if Hamilton stays next year.
And then, like we were just saying, McLaren, who we're not expecting currently to be a top 4 team, he's almost better off just staying at AlphaTauri. Yeah,
and I think they're growing. I think they're growing confidence. The car looks amazing. And it didn't perform too badly. I think they had one retirement in the red flag. But on a whole, I think they're getting there. They're getting there. And I like what they're doing. And I'm glad they stuck with Tsunoda. I think he is a talent. And I'm really excited to see what he can do this year.
Yeah, I love him over the radio.
Oh,
he's so angry.
Shut the F up. Yeah, it's like...
mate, it's so good. I don't know. I guess because a lot of people probably don't understand the sort of pressure they're under, but I just find it hilarious, and I'm sure it comes across as disrespectful sometimes when he does it. But
I just found it funny in that Drive Side. People were like, "Oh, have you seen how tall Tsunoda is?" Like, and I'm like, they're just like they're saying they're going, "Oh, there he is. He's quite small, isn't he?" It's like, why are you picking on his size, poor guy? But no, I think they've been brilliant. I think I'm really excited to see what they can do this year, and I think as long as they have a good performing car, I'm expecting a good season from Tsunoda. I am. I'm expecting more top 6 finishes.
Yeah.
I think Gasly. I think Gasly would just be Mr. Reliable, isn't he? I mean, after he left Red Bull and went back to AlphaTauri, he's just been Mr. Consistent the whole time, which is
like he's got a point to prove almost.
But he's not shy in saying it, is he? He's very out there and going, I want to be in a top team.
Yeah.
And I respect that because that's why races obviously go there. But yeah, no, I think AlphaTauri, they looked all right in pre-season. I like the little battle with him and Hamilton.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite good.
We had a few of those across the board. Yeah. We had Sainz and Verstappen.
Yeah, we had the Aston Martin, didn't we? And the Alpine.
Oh, Alonso and Stroll.
Yeah.
And all I'm going to say, it looks like they can race a lot closer.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I think for us, for new, for us who have been watching, for new F1 fans that are coming into the sport, they're coming in at an exciting time.
Yeah, because last season, let's be honest, would have attracted a lot of new fans.
I don't think you're going to get a better season than you did last year.
No.
In all honesty.
No,
I thought it was phenomenal last year.
Yeah, you've peaked. Stop watching.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, just turn off. Let's talk about Aston Martin.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I don't like him. I don't know. I love Seb. I really do.
I don't like Stroll.
I don't like Stroll.
Don't.
something about it. I just feel like they're a bit of a boring team. And again, I know that sounds horrible, but they're just not a team for me. They're not a team that I go, oh, yeah, they want to be up there.
I think also the car looked a handful.
Yeah.
During testing, I think last season, okay, they went for, they were Racing Point essentially.
Yeah.
Racing Point smashed it in that 2020 season.
Well, Perez got that win, didn't he?
Yeah. Coming from last in Sakir.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, the drop-off was insane. And, I don't know whether it was to do with the fact maybe they were pushing finances towards developing the new car for this year. But whatever they've done, I don't know, there wasn't sparks flying.
No. Well, we've also got to remember, haven't we, that actually COVID has delayed everything because obviously last season was meant to be this year's cars.
Yeah.
However, we're a year delayed, so a lot of people did save or didn't spend as much because they're putting all their money into the 2021 car,
which is why it has performed
so
terribly.
bad. But yeah, I mean, Aston Martin, they didn't look great. I'll be honest. Stroll, I think he was like he put in some good laps though throughout there. They got quite a bit of data from that, which is good for them. But I think I can't see them a mid-table team, and I'm not expecting them, especially after as we say, testing is very.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back next week and look really stupid.
Aston Martin win.
Aston Martin 1-2. Mercedes at the back.
Red Bull finishing second
car
last.
didn't even start. It'd be something like that. But that's all right. We're just here to speculate anyway.
This is our opinions. Don't hate on us. But yeah, no, I think Aston Martin will struggle this year. Alpine.
Man, I got to tell you, I love the pink cars. I know it's a special livery, but why just bring it in permanently? It looks sick.
It's for the first two races, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
I would keep. I think the pink looks amazing, but to be fair, the blue it is a bit sexy.
It looks okay. It looks good. The pink looks cool.
Can I call a car sexy? Yeah. I don't really. Well, I mean, yeah, I've said it now, haven't I? So.
I mean, as long as it's not in a weird way. But yeah, no, I think the setup they've got there, man. Ocon gets to learn from Fernando Alonso. So you've got a talented young driver.
Yeah.
Got one of the most experienced drivers ever. He's got 2 world championships. I think they've got a setup and a half there.
Yeah. I loved the fact that actually in Drive to Survive, what was amazing was the relationship between Alonso and Ocon. I loved that.
Yeah.
Because what was amazing to see was when Ocon won, Alonso was just going up to him and just like celebrating, like just so happy for him. And it was amazing to see. Because
let's be honest, Alonso won in that race.
Oh yeah, holding off Hamilton. Yeah, he was phenomenal. So I really like that because sometimes you get older drivers who want to be the top dog. They don't want to help the youngsters out. They have no interest in helping them out. So yeah, I really like their relationship. And Ocon in Drive to Survive, I thought he was amazing.
He's a.
The mad thing is, I didn't realise because I forgot his performances were so bad last year, weren't they? Starting off with up until the summer break, that actually there was real consideration whether he would actually have a drive this year.
Yeah.
So he did phenomenal to come back, get that win in Hungary, and he's. I felt really sorry for him in Jeddah. He got pipped on the line by Bottas, didn't he? I felt so sorry for him. And the footage in Drive to Survive is amazing.
It's like punching the steering wheel.
Like just constantly swearing. But no, I like them. I think they performed all right. They weren't like, shouting from the rooftops. They didn't do anything amazing, but they were pretty consistent. And do I think they'll be challenging the likes of Ferrari, McLaren, AlphaTauri? Yes, potentially.
You think yes?
Well, I do, but my rationale for that is because I think if you have Alonso in the team, you always have a great chance of getting points. He got podium at Qatar last year. He's phenomenal in that race. And yeah, I in all honesty, I do think they have the potential to challenge.
So then, Williams.
I want to see Williams do well so bad. I love Frank Williams. I love the Williams brand as a whole. Growing up, my dad was watching like Damon Hill. Like I love the battle. Like
I was always a big Montoya fan.
Yeah, Montoya. It's. I really want to see them get back to. Not winning ways as such, but I really want to get them back to seeing them challenging for mid-table, because I do think they have the potential. However, my only concern, and I said this in the Instagram post the other day, Racecast Insta, check those out.
Racecast.
Oh crap! Racecast Insta.
Doesn't even know the name.
No, I know because Racecast Insta. There we go. I said this the other day. Somebody said about Williams. My concern is if they had George Russell, they would be up there grabbing some good points.
Oh, George Russell as opposed to
Albon.
So you think Albon's going to be the one to let him down?
I think Latifi.
I think Albon's quicker than Latifi.
Yes, but I think Latifi is the one who will let them down this year in getting points. I don't know if there's enough experience in that team to go to that next level. Does that make sense? I don't think.
But Albon's raced for the best. He's raced for Red Bull.
Yeah,
in a championship-winning car, kind of.
And how did it end with him?
Yeah, granted, not great, but he's
been out of Formula One for the last 2 years?
Year.
1 year. 1 year.
Yeah, but he did spend a year recreating Hamilton crashes. He did.
He did, though. Yeah,
that was his practice.
I know. But when you say it like that, it's just the most bizarre thing, isn't it? What's your job? Yeah, just recreate crashes. Yeah. But yeah, no. I think I don't rate Latifi. I don't know. It's something about Latifi. I like him as a person. I think he seems like a nice person, but I don't think he has what it takes.
No, I'm with you on that. I don't think he. Let's not forget the fact that George is clearly a special talent.
Oh yeah,
but George smoked him every time. Besides, but was there like one time where Latifi finished ahead of him? He got out qualified by him once, I think it was.
Yeah, but in that race, I think it was Barcelona that Latifi outscored him. No, not Barcelona.
It was when they got like 8th and 9th, wasn't it?
Yeah,
or 9th and 10th.
But in that race, he was like, sacrifice my race. He was like, sacrifice my race for Latifi.
Oh, what, George? Yeah, he said he was like, what does Nicky need me to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I love that. And if George brings that to Mercedes this year, I think it's going to be really exciting.
I saw quite a funny tweet, like, how long is it going to be until George hears, George, it's James?
Can you give back the position?
The 4 answers were like, the Bahrain Grand Prix, the first race of the season, the opening day, or the first race.
I don't think you'll hear it until maybe 5-6 races in. I think.
You reckon they'll warm him into it?
Well, no, I just think that it depends how the title the season's going, isn't it? If Red Bull are going away with it and Hamilton's the only one who's actually challenging.
The way they looked in testing, they're not going to be challenging anyway.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So Williams, we think.
I think
they potentially have the car, or do you not even think that?
Well, I don't think they have it. The last time we saw the car, it was on fire. So I don't know if they have the car at the moment because it was a bit burnt. But I do. I think what's put me into a full sense of security is how good the Williams looks.
So because it's pretty.
Yeah, I think it's going to do well. Yeah, and I know that sounds so stupid, but I do think. Yeah, I think they're. I want to see them do well, but I don't think they have the drivers to fulfill that next step.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I think it seems a bit harsh, but I just think that's how. Yeah, I think that's how it is. Who we got left?
Alfa Romeo, who actually didn't look too bad. I think what was it? Was it day 2?
Yeah,
Guan Yu Zhou was.
He
was quick. I know he was on the the C5s.
Yeah.
Is he on the sauce?
I thought he performed well. You know, he's got a lot of pressure on him this year because now the sport is turning into a money buys your seat. You know, there's not many drivers on the grid who actually are there through their hard work. I mean, they're all hard work. Don't get me wrong, they're all hard work.
But he's another one that has got in on sponsorships, basically.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of pressure on himself this year, I think. And the only good thing for him this year is he has Bottas. Because Bottas knows what it's like to be in a winning team. Not necessarily win championships and win races, but he knows what it's like to be in a winning team.
Well, he knows how to win races.
He knows how to win races, but he wasn't winning loads, was he? He won one last year.
Yeah, last year was a tough year for him.
Well, yeah. He had the same car, but he still couldn't, you know. Where did he win? Turkey?
Yeah, it was Turkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a young driver coming into the sport, having a teammate like Bottas, who we know, A, first and foremost, is a team player.
Yeah.
B, he's experienced. C, he's quick. He knows how to win races.
Yeah.
He's just not. I don't think he always brings it to the field.
I don't think he'll win another race, in all honesty, now in his career.
No, I'll be shocked if he wins again.
But I do think what's interesting about it is Bottas actually going to be the team player which he was at Mercedes? Because you've got to remember, he's now going to a team, and in his mind, is his team. He's the big dog going to that team. He's come from a championship winning team, and he signed a long-term deal. Is he going in there thinking, I'm the number one man here?
It's long-term for him. It's only a 2-year deal.
Well, for him, he's already ever won 1 year deal, so it is long term for him.
But yeah, no. I mean, there could be a change in personality here because he was, even going into that team, I think it's well established. He was Lewis's number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Without
a doubt, he was never going to be the number 1, was he? Even though he wanted to be the number 1.
Yeah, I don't think it took him long to realise that he wasn't going to be. But yeah, no, I think moving into this. Yeah, is he going to come out maybe with, and I'd like this, a bit more arrogance, a bit more, even confidence, you could say, where he's like, no, I'm the top dog here. This is my team.
And what's he got to lose?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got nothing to lose now. He's proved himself to be a team player, like you say. He's won, 5 world championships with Mercedes.
Yeah.
Constructors. Before people go, he didn't actually win a drivers' championship. But yeah, I think it's going to. I think he thinks he's number 1, and rightly so. I think he's earned it.
Of course,
he's going to a team which is, I'm not being funny, but the 2nd, 3rd worst on the grid.
They were crap last season.
Oh yeah, they got
poor. Outscored by Williams.
Kimi Räikkönen was just counting down the days till his retirement.
Oh mate, he was just there collecting his paycheck.
Well, he basically walked out with his P45, didn't he? Like, he on the way out, he's like, "I see you later, I'm off." Hang on, that's the point. There was nothing in Drive to Survive about his last race, was there?
Could you imagine? I'm not sure if he'd want anything to do.
Yeah, well, I just thought, that's quite a big thing. He was a big character, wasn't he? And he just went out.
We will talk about Drive to Survive.
Yeah, no, but I just had a thought.
I've got some stuff to say on it.
All right, I'll hold that thought. Sorry. This is one thing with the podcast. You just end up thinking of something on the spot, and then you just answer the question.
Very hard to stay regimented on a podcast.
It is.
But that's all right. We're just here to talk.
I feel quite chilled. I'm a bit hot, I'll be honest, with the Lando Norris hoodie on. But
yeah, it's warm in here.
I rate it. I rate it a lot, and I love the
nice.
back. I love the back.
Can you see that?
It's sick, isn't it? It's decent. So that leaves us with Haas. Have we done all 10 teams?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so Haas.
I'm telling you, listen to me, look at me. I'm telling you, they are going to shock some people this year, right? They've looked decent in testing. I rate Mick Schumacher.
Yeah.
I think Magnussen's a cool guy, good driver.
He's experienced.
Firstly, They're not going to be anywhere near as bad as what they were last season. In theory, no one is going to be as bad as Haas were last season.
Interesting.
If they are,
Yeah.
quit. Just quit.
Well, yeah, you can't be as if you finish the season with 0 points, you've got. How do you sit down and do a debrief of your season?
Well, there's no point.
So what went wrong? Well, where'd you start? Like it was just
clearly everything. Like, why don't we talk about what went right and we can be out of here in a couple of minutes?
Mazepin.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about that. That was obviously.
We'll get on to him with Drive to Survive. Yeah, we'll hold that one. We'll hold that little beauty for a bit.
We'll just look at their performance testing performance.
They had the best. For me, they had the best. Considering their freight, their plane broke down, they were behind. I did find it strange that McLaren were the team who said no to them having an extra day testing. I found that a bit bizarre.
Yeah, because McLaren know that they're taking their last spot.
Well, can you imagine McLaren last again? But no, I think Haas, they look good. Mick Schumacher, I want to see him do well. Brilliant.
Did it die?
It died.
We'll be back in 1 minute.
You should have a little theme tune in that.
Yeah.
So we're back. Amazing editing there, quick.
Yeah.
So Haas, are you thinking after testing that they're going to be up there challenging for good amount of points this year?
I think they're going for points this year, right? They're going to be a midfield team. Why is this? All right, comment right now. And if you find this so hard to comprehend, I want to know why. Because we know that Haas did not invest in their car at all last season, right? That's why they were so bad. They put every penny of cash into this year's car. Secondly, they got rid of Mazepin, who couldn't drive. He couldn't.
Yeah, okay, right. I agree with your point. They put the money in. However, they're in a position now where they're not even sure if they're going to have to pay their money back for the sponsors. So financially, are they going to be in a good enough position to actually keep developing the car throughout the season? That's another concern. But they
can pick up another sponsor, surely. Yeah, I think, right, if they've shown that they've developed a good car,
yeah,
and they get off to a healthy start, I'm not saying they need to be winning races, getting podiums. If they're getting points at the start of the season, they'll pick up another sponsor.
Well, if it's anything like testing, they'll be like, what, first and second?
But yeah, they were electric.
Right. Okay. Should we put a little bet on here? Do you think Haas will get a podium this year?
Do I think?
Yeah.
No. I think they'll get a top 6 finish.
Do you?
I think Haas will get a top 6 finish.
All right. I mean, okay. To be fair, Haas in the past have had, when they've had Grosjean and that, they have finished in top 6 and they have been there. Okay. You're kind of selling it to me, and I'm a bit annoyed with myself because I was pretty sure that I was like, no, Haas are going to be woeful, but with testing they did all right, and you are kind of selling it to me. So, okay, so you think a top 6 finish?
I think they will get at least one top 6 finish at some point in the season.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure when it will come. And if I had to put my money on it, I'm actually going to say it would be Mick Schumacher getting it.
Do you think?
I think he's a nifty little driver.
I think he's starting to show, and well, for me now with Mazepin gone, he has the freedom. And we'll touch on this a bit later on about Mick and Mazepin and that, but I think he has a bit more freedom in the team now to actually go, just.
And now he's got someone he can learn off as well.
Yeah,
he hasn't got this like idiot around him that I'm sorry, and I felt a little bit sorry for him, kind of, not really, when he lost his seat. But I thought, you didn't even deserve one in the first place, to be honest, mate. Like, you didn't.
I just loved it though that the commentators were going, oh, there he is, another spin, Mazepin.
It's like, how how have you spun? Like, no one's racing you. He was just out for a Sunday drive. He was popping down the shops and he's spinning. It was mental. And maybe we can sympathise with him a little bit and blame it on the car because, we've established the car was crap.
But I mean,
Mick Schumacher didn't look like that.
Mick still put in performances.
So, I think to round this bit up, which has been the bulk of the show. I mean, we were. It's been pre-season testing. We were going to talk about that. How do you think the constructor's going to end? And who are your top 3 for the season?
So, constructors.
Constructors, I want all 10.
Okay.
Top 3, I'm talking drivers.
Okay. So, constructors, I'm thinking is going to be Red Bull, Mercedes, because I think Mercedes will come good towards the end of the season. So Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, AlphaTauri, McLaren, Alpine, Williams.
Man, you hate Haas.
No, I don't hate Haas.
Well, so now you're putting the Williams ahead of the Alfa Romeos.
Okay, so in 7th place, I'm going to go Aston Martin. Then I'm going to go Haas, Williams, Alfa Romeo.
So you think Valtteri Bottas is going from the greatest team to the worst team?
Yeah.
How has he made such an error?
Well, it's the only seat you could get, and they offered him a good amount of money. For me, I do think it's. Go on then. You tell me. What do you think?
You're not, and everyone, this is going to be a lot easier to determine after that first race. I agree with you on Mercedes. If they're not up to pace,
yep,
they will be.
Yep.
After maybe 5 or 6 races.
Yeah.
It's whether there is too much damage done from the Red Bull, which is already looking lightning quick, and the Ferrari, which is looking unbelievable as well.
Yeah.
For sure the top 3, you've got to say, currently, I'm going to go Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes.
Okay.
I can't put Mercedes up there at the moment, but at the same time, I also can't write them off.
Yeah.
I think I'm then going to look at AlphaTauri. Haas are going to be in there. I do think so. I do.
What, so you think Haas are going to be top 5?
No.
Please.
I think it will be Alpine, then Haas, then McLaren. Just based on how they're looking pre-season. This is all based on pre-season. I can't base anything off last season, right? How are you going to base... All right, I'm going to use a football analogy here, right?
Okay.
Man City, right? Win the league.
Yep.
Then, for whatever reason, they're all on holiday and all their players die, right?
Bit extreme, isn't it? Jeez.
No, they just die.
Yeah, okay.
They buy a load of new players.
Is this including Scott Carson?
Yeah, he's gone. No, he's gone. Everyone's gone. Right, they come back the next season with 25 brand new players.
Yeah.
You're not going to make them favourites.
No, okay, I agree. No, I agree with you from that point of view. But you really think Haas are going to be... You got a thing for Haas.
I just think... what I like, right? I like an underdog.
Okay, there's underdogs and then there's Haas.
Last season, but this is what I mean. This is a level playing field.
Yeah. Okay.
Because everyone's under the cost cap now.
Yep.
So there's only a certain amount of spending allowed. The teams that actually finished lower down get more time in the wind tunnel.
Yep.
So they can find out more.
Okay.
I just think don't write them off if they've had the investment behind the scenes, which we don't really know what's gone into the car. We've got to assume having based on the fact that they didn't want to spend anything last season. They must be spending on this season.
Yeah. Okay. No. Do you know what? I agree with you. I hope, because I love Gunther.
Yeah.
Gunther. I think he's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I never realised. Did you know this? He was team principal at Red Bull before, and then Christian Horner took over from him.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know. Well, it was in Drive to Survive.
Which, let's finish these predictions and then we will talk about
I feel like
Drive
we said
to
it
Survive.
at Drive to Survive a lot. And I think it's just because it's been really exciting. Okay, so top 10. Let's go for your top 10 again. So
Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes,
yeah,
AlphaTauri.
yeah. Oh, we agree with AlphaTauri.
Yeah, I think they're a good team. They're a solid team. Alpine, Haas, McLaren. Oh god, this is so hard. Alfa Romeo, Williams, Aston Martin.
So you think Aston Martin are going to finish last?
I think that car looked crap.
Interesting.
It looked rubbish.
Yeah. No.
I don't personally rate Lance Stroll as a driver.
No.
And I don't really rate Seb anymore.
He's. Yeah. No, I don't think he's.
I don't think that's not hard. No one can take away the fact that he won 4 world championships in a row.
Yep.
But
he's not the same, is he?
No.
He's not the same.
No, that's completely normal.
Yeah, and I think. Do you know what? Your predictions isn't bad. I could see it.
Yeah.
I can't see McLaren being behind Haas. In all honesty, that's the one which I feel like you're a bit drunk on. I can't really see that happening, but I think it. Do you know what? I'm going to put it out there. If you're McLaren and you end up losing to Haas, you should really consider whether you're going to stay in the sport or not. You know, Zach Brown was like, "Oh, we got to go for third. We got to do this. We got to do that." And then all of a sudden, Haas beats you, and then you have Gunther coming down. You know, like in his little playhouse which he had. You know, like going. No, I can't see it. I can't see it. But okay, our predictions. So top three drivers. Yeah. It's tough, isn't it? Because my gut says if Mercedes can get their car up and running after the first 2 or 3 races, because it's a long season, Hamilton will be there.
Well, because, let's be real here. Anyone would be stupid to write off Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. So I'm thinking, I'm going to say Hamilton, Verstappen. I'm going to go out there and say Perez. I think Perez
he's getting more points than George.
Yeah, I do. This season I do. I think George has got a big learning curve this year. A big learning curve in that car. Because it's very different going from, a Williams where you can outperform and you can shine to actually being up with the big dogs. And I know he did it that time when he raced for Mercedes, but I think it's a different ball game. I think it's going to take him time to grow into it. I think he needs a season, but I think Perez.
In fact, this car is actually quick.
Yes, but I think Perez looked good last year towards the end of last season. So I think I'm expecting him to be up there and challenging. I think he's going to take the Bottas spot. Like the whole Bottas was always finishing third, all of this stuff. I think Perez is going to get there. But I would like to see Hamilton win his 8th title. I would. You guys know I'm a Hamilton fan. But I also know that I think Hamilton has got a point to prove this year. If Hamilton wins it, this will be his last season. For sure.
Yeah.
I can't see him continuing. But yeah, that's me. So your top 3?
Got to be, for me, based on the performance in testing, Max. If testing is anything to go by, Max will win it. Okay. Not saying that's what I want, but I do believe that to be the case. Then I would say, well, the thing is, right, is if the car is that quick, then Perez in theory should come second.
Yeah.
But the Ferraris are looking competitive. And as much as I like Perez, I personally think the 2 Ferrari drivers are better than him.
Yeah.
So I would have to say Max Verstappen first, Charles Leclerc second, and I can't write off Lewis Hamilton as a third.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you think Charles Leclerc will be better than Sainz this year?
Which is controversial because I know Sainz actually pipped him last season.
I think Sainz is a more rounded, more complete driver than Leclerc. And I know that sounds quite bizarre. And I know we touched on it earlier. I just think Sainz he has that aggressive side. He's not afraid to get stuck in. He's not afraid to go up against the big guns. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Leclerc is a bit hesitant in certain aspects.
But is that because he hasn't... he hasn't... And I know it's the same for Sainz, but like Leclerc hasn't had the car really where he can compete.
Yeah.
I know there was the period in like 2019 when Ferrari were cheating when they had a quick car. And he won. He won like a race.
He did, yeah. That was in Italy, wasn't it?
They did.
Race, didn't they?
Yeah, they did win at Monza.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I personally just feel Sainz is a more complete driver, in my opinion. I think he's got more to offer, and I think he is more beneficial to the team.
You know what? I actually, I just remembered. I put this up on the Instagram. The story.
Well, yeah, about the story, didn't you?
And I know Leclerc came out on top. I think it was like 66% to 34%.
Okay.
That people thought, but we've spoken about it. Ferrari have a good setup this year.
They do. I'm expecting them to win some races this year as well.
Yeah.
But I think, will they be strong enough to win a championship over the likes of Mercedes and Red Bull this year? I don't know. It's a long season. That's what we got to remember. Red Bull and Mercedes are key in dealing with this sort of pressure. Whereas Ferrari, Sainz and Leclerc, although they're very experienced and they're great drivers, they've got to perform week in, week out.
Yes, the difference is consistency.
Yeah.
Which, Verstappen has shown, Hamilton has shown. The other two, they need to prove that they can be consistent.
Yeah, without a doubt, and I think that's the issue. And I hope, I like Ferrari. I think I like Ferrari more now because of the drivers who are there.
Yeah.
I agree with you what you said earlier. I wasn't always a Ferrari fan growing up, but it's exciting to see the two drivers. They're talented drivers, and what they've got great character, great relationship there. So I'm expecting big things from Ferrari this year. So what we've done, we've touched on Bahrain testing, our predictions for this season, top tens. Should we finally get to Drive to Survive?
Yeah, I think let's do Drive to Survive. Then we're going to do the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Well, yeah.
We won't go into it too much, but I think just give our predictions to wrap up the episode. Drive to Survive.
Mazepin comes out of nowhere in last year's Haas and overtakes people into the first corner. That's my prediction.
Wouldn't be able to catch him. But if you had to sum up Drive to Survive in one word, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Now, maybe we'll do it at the same time. Will that get confusing if you're listening? We'll repeat it afterwards, but we'll say it at the same time. Just because I'm curious. I don't want either of our opinions to have an effect on one another.
Okay.
But I've got my word.
Okay. Right. Okay. Do you want to do it in three?
3,
2, 1. Petty.
Underwhelming.
Underwhelming. Do you think?
The season.
Yeah.
Was so exciting.
Yeah.
I would be thinking about the next race before the previous race had started.
Yeah.
Because it was that exciting. Drive to Survive, I was counting down the episodes. I was like, I just want to get to the last episode. Got there, and I was like, That was boring.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I watched that this morning, and I was expecting more behind the scenes from the likes of Hamilton.
Yeah, I wanted to see him like kicking a window in or something. Do you know what I mean?
But there's nothing. It's basically footage we've already seen. There was nothing new in it at all.
Everything that was shown.
There was nothing. So underwhelming, good word. I do like that. However, there was some very good episodes. I loved the Haas episode.
Yeah, where there was all the controversy about they were like going to pull the sponsorship.
Yeah, I liked it because it was really stuff I didn't even know. So last year, I actually felt quite sorry for Mazepin at times. I was kind of like, do you know what? He's having a rough time here, and it can't be great for someone's confidence to constantly be this bad. However, watching Drive to Survive, I mean, what's the one word you can describe him and his dad? I mean,
I think the word cock.
Cock. Cock. Mazepin, like, what an idiot! I was really disappointed when I watched it because it was just like a petulant little child.
Yeah, because I think also he's tried to shake this image that everyone has of him by like being like quite funny and quite like he mocks himself on social media and stuff. And I think that's an attempt of like, oh, please like me, please like me. And then we sin from like the behind the scenes at night.
You can't hide that he was a complete and utter cock in that. He was awful. He was for a word of he was a bully.
Yeah.
Him and his dad were a bully.
If he doesn't start performing better, we're going to take our money away.
In life, I'm very much a person that actually, if you're going to do something for someone, don't always expect something back. So, like with his dad, don't get me wrong, he's putting a lot of money. He expects, as far as I'm concerned, he's got what he wanted by having his son in F1. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's already a massive bonus. Don't then just go because, you're not given the same car, which actually, him and Mick had the exact same car, both useless, and,
Mick was better.
He got the best out of it. But for Mazepin, he had this thing in his... I don't know if it's like a confidence thing that he just thought that the team were against him. They didn't want to help him. They were giving him an awful car. And it was just
I think it's more an ego thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It was just really, at times, quite awkward to see him like that.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking to myself, it's so childish.
Just the fact that he'd be like getting out of the car, like having finished like 30 seconds behind his teammate and being like, there's something wrong with this motor. It's like, no, mate, there's something wrong with you. Like, I don't know. I don't know what goes through his head. The arrogance to be like, no, it's not me. I'm not the problem. Well, what do you mean? Of course you are.
Well, I've just crashed. I've spun so many times. It must be the car. Yeah,
something wrong with it.
Yeah,
it's not working.
But he was. It disappointed me, his reactions. I was expecting to like him. However, positives, which we did touch on earlier, Sonoda.
Yeah,
bloody loved the guy. I think he is already, for me, a legend. I think he's absolutely superb.
I love how much he hated training.
Yeah, he was just like,
I don't want to do it.
But you can kind of relate to him, can't you?
Yeah, I think...
I've only just recently started going to gym. I'm not an F1 driver. I'm not an athlete or anything like that. But the whole thought of like, I can't be bothered to do it. And,
I think sometimes it can be a bit jarring when people are constantly like, oh, so motivated, go get it, guys. It's like, oh, mate, have a day off. Like, do you know what I mean? Just shut up for 1 minute.
Did you see that clip last year of him when they said, right, we're going to be up training tomorrow at 7 a.m. And he was like, no, we've just done our training. It's a day off tomorrow. He was like, no, we're going to do 7 a.m. Really winding him up, and it looked like he was
pure anger.
He was moments away from a tantrum. I think if he had rolled on the floor and had a tantrum, he was that close to doing it. But I think he's great. I think he's honestly great for the sport, and I think he came out really well in that episode. Him and Gasly seem like, and I think that's why I want to see AlphaTauri do well, because I like the pairing.
Yeah. I saw Lando Norris complained about Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
Because the relationship that everyone expected him and Daniel Ricciardo to have.
Yeah, it's quite frosty, wasn't
it? But what he said is he was like, well, they've portrayed it completely wrong. He was like, they've used like radio clips of him like responding from a different race.
Yeah.
So he was
looks
just like
that.
They've made it look like, which you're watching a TV show. I mean, take everything with a pinch of
isn't
salt.
it?
Yeah. And what it's done for the sport is obviously massive. But yeah, it must be frustrating. I mean, that's why Max didn't want to participate, which I completely understand.
I get it. I thought George Russell came out really well in it. I thought he was great. I loved the shot of him and Toto. I like the fact that actually the deal was kind of agreed behind a motorhome.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. I thought, that is proper F1. Should we just go around the back of the motorhome and then, do you fancy driving for us? Yeah, why not? Yeah. I think it's brilliant. Horner.
Oh, look, right.
I didn't. It's a tough one because I used to really like Horner. I was a big fan of Horner. Last season, I thought it got quite childish with him and Toto Wolff. I didn't really like the fact at the beginning, and I think it was the first episode, wasn't it? It was like, we know Hamilton was speaking, and he was like, F off.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't a massive fan of like that, or, let's go and F up, Mercedes. I wasn't a massive fan of that. However,
he's so obsessed.
He is. He is. I thought Toto Wolff came out quite well in it. I thought he was quite good. It was bits of pettiness.
He always seems more mature.
Yeah. But there was times where he was very petty.
It did get that, but between them, the pair of them, it got petty.
Yeah.
And they were both guilty of that.
Do you know what I loved the most about it though? Was the fact that it's all being petty, and there's Gunther coming round going, all right, I hate walking up this effing. It was just I thought he was great. Zach Brown, I thought was good.
Yeah,
I do like him.
It's nice we didn't see a lot of Lawrence Stroll this season.
I don't think you saw hardly anything of him, really.
No, I thought it was quite nice.
Yeah, didn't see anything of him. No, I thought on a whole,
the new Williams CEO.
I thought he's great.
I like him.
Yeah, I thought he was.
I can't remember his name. Something, is it?
Yeah, but I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, no.
I actually really enjoyed that episode. I thought it was good. I actually see Williams. The work that went into actually them getting their points was really satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I on a whole, underwhelming is good. I like that word. I said petty because I suppose there was a lot of pettiness, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For example, Horner was like, oh, well, we'll just do our job. We're not going to rise to it. But then the next minute they're going to the FIA going, their rear wing doesn't look right, and it's those type of things. But Toto Wolff did the same, other teams did the same. I'm not just singling out Horner here, but I just thought to myself, it's kind of like...
Do you know what I also liked? We get to see this Lewis Hamilton media persona. Which I think probably fairly accurately represents who he is as a person.
Yeah.
But what I love to see in Drive to Survive is when you see him in those more natural scenarios where he's talking to different people and you actually finally hear him swear and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? He's not trying to be that, which I understand it, the media golden boy, so to speak. I quite like seeing that more natural side of him.
The one when he was in the data room or whatever it's called, and
talking about the rear wing test,
rear wing test and the yellow flags.
Yeah,
he's gone past the yellow flags. Are you going to do anything about it? I thought I obviously I'm a Lewis fan, but I thought how he handled last year was. I thought he was superb last year. Yeah. I really did, and I have to admit the slow-mo in Drive to Survive this year was amazing.
The editing of that show is spectacular.
Editing 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Drama, there was bits of it which got you captivated.
The problem for me was that the season of Drive to Survive did not emulate the emotions that I felt during the actual season. As a drama which crunches everything down into 40-minute bite-sized chunks, that should be so much more exciting than the season.
Yeah, I agree.
And it wasn't.
It still hurt me watching this morning. I came here, I watched the final episode, and I am neutral, and I still stand by kind of what I said last year. How I didn't like how the season ended. And my gut feeling was Hamilton should have been the champion because, on a whole, if you follow the rules, he would have been champion. However,
I think we're both in agreement that Max Verstappen
he was
is
a worthy
very
worthy champion. Yeah, and I'll take nothing away from it. However, if you're going by that one race, Hamilton was robbed of that. But I have to agree. Verstappen was a superb. I like the fact that they're very open, and Hamilton was very open, saying, we are very different drivers. Verstappen is very aggressive, and he doesn't understand why he's so aggressive. I did like that because you saw for once Hamilton looked very perplexed in a way, kind of like
something that he hadn't dealt with before.
I don't get it. I don't get why a driver has to be so aggressive. Yeah. So that was quite interesting to see. But on the whole, I thought it was a good series. But I agree with you. Underwhelming is probably the word. Yeah.
Let us know what you thought down below if you're watching on YouTube. I don't think you can comment on Spotify or Apple.
No, I don't think you can. That would be quite good though, wouldn't it?
That would be.
But no, comment down if you're watching on YouTube. Let us know what your thoughts are, or follow us on our social medias: Twitter, Racecast tweets.
Yeah.
Instagram, Racecast Insta. And I'm gonna quickly turn that. And YouTube, we're Racecast. And what's the other one? TikTok.
TikTok Racecast clips.
Do you think we should do Facebook?
No.
Good. Okay, thanks. I didn't want to do an extra one.
But I do think to round this, we're going to call it the pilot episode.
Yeah.
Because we've hopefully got a sign coming. We're taking this seriously. We're going to get some lighting, maybe some better lighting. Yeah. And we're just, we're going to build the studio slowly but surely. We want to get a collection of hats from different teams to go around the sign.
So bear with us. This is our first episode. We're learning. It's a new thing for us. It's a good project. Our plan is to have weekly podcasts, which is for us is something which is exciting. We love Formula One, so we get to talk about that. So it'll be weekly podcasts, daily content on all the socials, which has been happening so far. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that.
And what I will say is getting to this point was it was a bit rushed as well because the season was starting so soon. I was so reluctant to actually do a podcast. So, by the time we had to get the ball rolling, we were already behind on schedule.
Are you regretting it?
What, taking my time? No, I think you got to be sure that you want to do things.
Sure and steady. But no, it's good. It's great. We so much talking we're finally here, which I'm excited for. Let's just quickly before we end the podcast. Predictions for Bahrain. Your winner.
Max.
Okay. I'm going to go completely different here. I'm thinking it's going to be Perez.
Oh, that is different.
I don't know why. I have this thing I think we're going to see a completely different side to Perez this year. I think I kind of liked one thing he did say. He said, I'm actually now at the front of a grid racing against the likes of the Mercedes. And, he loved that.
Yeah.
And I think he learned so much last year in the Red Bull car. And he showed in Bahrain testing that he is quick. I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there.
Well, and now for him, is it the case of, Max has won his championship.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and win mine now.
Yeah. And I don't think he may class himself as a second driver, but I think he wants to prove himself. First person to crash.
Ooh.
Latifi.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon Tsunoda.
How do you think?
Yeah.
No, Tsunoda's going for the championship this year. He ain't crashing there too.
You're a Tsunoda fan now.
I am. I love him. I think he's great. Okay, so Tsunoda. I think it's going to be... I'm really looking forward to it. I can't believe it's back already. Yeah. To be fair, it felt like a long time, but now it's all here. It kind of all feels rushed because everything's all coming at once. But I'm excited. I'm excited. So practice is on Friday. Keep up to date on all of our socials. Luke, episode 1 is done.
Episode 1 is done. And we are going to be back Wednesday at 5 o'clock next week, where we'll be talking everything Bahrain and looking ahead to the next race, which is somewhere in the local region.
Jeddah. Make
sure you subscribe, like the content, follow us on socials, rate 5-star if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Leave a comment as well. Leave a review. Let us know. We want to continue growing. We want to grow with you. We want to get you guys involved. We want to... Did we actually do questions?
No, but
we'll have to do that another time.
We'll do that next week.
But we want to get fans' opinions in as well. So we've spoken a lot today. What is it? An hour and 16-minute podcast. This is going to be a lot of editing.
Yeah, not for me.
Better get started. But guys, yeah, thank you very much for watching, listening. And until next time, I shall catch you later. Bye-bye.